You know, what happens when you repress the emotions and, you know, how they can affect one's life, even physical health, you know?
Yeah. When one is talking about the subconscious mind, one needs to have just a little understanding of it. Although we are all experts dealing with the subconscious mind, we consider we sleep on average 8 hours every night, and therefore we go into subconscious land. And in our dreams, for example, I had a client yesterday, and I just asked him the question. He's coming because of insomnia, actually. He's difficulty sleeping. And when he's difficulty sleeping, um, that he had a stroke, I think, maybe 20, 30 years ago. And he woke up out of his sleep with a stroke. And ever since then, he feels his stroke is somehow causing his sleep difficulty. That when we're younger, uh, emotional things can happen to us, all kinds of things. For example, somebody could be on a plane and the adults around them, there's some turbulence going on, and this is a child on the plane or a young person on the plane, and they see the adults taking up the rosary beads or praying or something like that. They think the plane is going to crash. And that emotion is, the child takes that in and becomes a part of them. And therefore, from then onwards, the idea of flying is not too pleasant, you know. When we're younger, if we touch something that's hot, we get a burn, we learn quite easily not to touch it anymore. So if emotional incidents happen to us when we're younger, if we're abused mentally, physically, emotionally, socially, sexually, that these things tend to stick with us. And we can't have them in the conscious mind continuously. So what the subconscious mind does to protect us is it locks it away. It locks it away. It's though it never happened. If you speak to most where during the Second World War, where the Germans were coming into his country in Romania or whatever, that his mother gave him as a baby over to somebody else. And with that came this trauma of separation from his love, nourishment, and security that he had with his mother. And that, um, and he, although he knew about it at some level, but the emotion inside he still has as a grown man, and he's still dealing with it today. This feeling of being left alone, you know.
Get their subconscious mind in order to live a successful and prosperous life.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. And Joe, the first step for someone who's leaning towards a healthier life, you know, healthier future, the first step could be quite uneasy. Yeah. So what would be your advice to people, how to put that step forward towards healing?
Yeah, I think there comes a point in everyone's life.
Yeah,
where,
like to reach out, to reach out that hand, to look for help if, you know, if they struggle, and because it may not come that easily, you know, for many people.
it's a very humbling experience to realize I need help. For example, alcoholics and any addict, you cannot get through to them unless they admit I'm an alcoholic. I need help. So they need to go. Some cases they need to go to rock bottom before they realize that I need help. And you'll find some people will do it in different ways. Um, some people will find themselves taking an overdose of something. I can't stand life or my problem anymore. Lots of people get divorced, lose their jobs, lose their position, even have some sort of mental intervention that's going to affect them for the rest of their lives. You know, some of these people will just commit suicide or try and commit suicide. So parasuicides, they usually talk to them in the hospitals or about getting help. And it's so humbling to go and look for help. But once people admit, look, I have a problem, it's outside of my control, can you please help me do something with it? I've tried my best, or I've avoided it or disassociated from it. I've associated myself to the wrong things. And it's just admitting that we're human, we need help, and that's whatever.